Shalom, Ambazonia. People of the United Nations Trust Territory of the British Southern Cameroons, good morning. Good citizens of Ambazonia, today na Thursday, number 17 day for number 10 month for the year 2019. My name na Capo Daniel. This one na my daily podcast for una. Terrorist forces of La République du Cameroon, their government, that invade Pinying village, killing 3 people them. The army for La République du Cameroon, they attack some die place, open fire sporadically, killing 3 people them at the spot. Amongst the dead, now 1 teenager and 2 women them. While for Southern Zone, CDC worker them for Tico, they then be attacked by some armed men them. Then catch them, cut their finger them, cut some around their nose and their ear them. According to the report from the hospital, over 15 people they be affected by the attack. Why would they call on the closure of CDC? Will condemn strongly any attack for civilian them, including the dismemberment or cutting of hands or gari process being used as a tactics. It be counterproductive and a crime against Ambazonia for any fighter or any person for cut hand for any worker for CDC. Such attack against our own people them be counterproductive and a direct security challenge because it turn our people them against we and it make the media release critical information about location for fighters them for La République du Cameroon. Why we don't know who then commit this act will condemn them in the strongest possible terms. There are other alternatives to stop the exploitation of our resources in CDC. Dismemberment of civilians is not an acceptable practice. It is a crime against humanity and a crime against the Ambazonia people. Back to Mbah. John Mbah Akuroh'S, he then revealed details them for substantiate way to hold than the talk say it happened for Switzerland. He also then put forward the same thing the will be done the toxin a requirement for all our leaders them. I will walk on a true that in the way talk them. First, the condition will then always the talk. Say when it come for negotiation and diplomacy, it's supposed to be an Ambazonia thing, no be group things them. Wanna listen.
Matters relating to the international negotiation of a peace deal for the Southern Cameroons cannot be treated as an issue of group affiliation, because this is an area which must bring all Southern Cameroonians together, because that is the level at which we are talking about the future of all the 8 million people of the Southern Cameroons. Nobody will escape the consequences of a bad judgment.
As will be done the talk, no man no go escape consequences them for bad judgment when it come for this, because nothing way is supposed to involve all man.
Be honest at every standpoint, especially at this level of our struggle. Our people deserve to know the truth, so they are able to appreciate the circumstances before us.
Yes, we don't always insist of the people that need for know the truth. May we start with which way John Mbah Akuroh'S then reveal them. Firstly, an NGO meet up them when they be gathered with Fontem Niba for America. The same day, all them sign give mandate for that NGO for go negotiate with La République du Cameroon. Wanna listen.
Of March 2019, the member organizations of the newly created SCLC met physically with officials of a US-based organization known as Pave the Way Foundation. And we signed out officially in the presence of Professor Carlson Anyangwe. We all agreed and signed officially the next day to give them our mandate, asking them to go to Yaoundé and also seek to get a mandate from La République du Cameroon so they can mediate between us and La République du Cameroon for a peace deal. At least they approached us.
So these leaders, these frontline leaders, they be approached by an NGO, and the same day then sign a mandate for give them authority, me then go negotiate between we and La Republic without doing any background check at all, without consulting with the major leaders them and the major group them for the struggle, without talking to the leaders who are in jail, without talking to the Ague of C, which are the major factions. They did not even spend a day to think about it or to spend a day to talk with expert or do background check for that company, but they went ahead to give them a mandate to go and meet La Republic on our behalf. The thing na say with diplomacy, you don't know which way the other side they do. Now, why that way supposed to be always na a broad-based consultation. You need to find out which the person they already they talk, which the one they already they talk. Why the group they can meet you? Why the one they meet you? Maybe now because the other person they win for this side. Maybe now because the other one they win for this side. Now it displays for gross incompetence for any leader them for go ahead for give mandate. In particularly when their faction them, they not be significant enough for influence things and way they happen for ground, and they not be the major factions them. Even how they be the deal with this NGO for sign this mandate, Sako be shidong for them for the way either already write later for ask the same thing for the Switzerland, the ambassador, but if she don't quiet, withhold that information without disclosing it to this leader them when I hear.
On this occasion, Comrade Sako was present. Comrade Akwanga was there. All of us sat there. Nobody, no one mentioned that they had contacted the Swiss government to urge them to play the same mediation role. This is strange. Nobody mentioned this. Although from records and from a letter I have in my possession, it is now clear that the Sako-led IG had written to the Swiss ambassador in Yaoundé.
So Sako be shidong for the quiet where he already contact the Switzerland embassy for do the same thing, but he not disclose them for this leader them. And this reason now because the way he be contact them, the Switzerland embassy, it not be been at the way for Ambazonia. It be been a compromise way. From information where we will get them. We know say now the Barry Corbett company, they be done meet up Sako together with Peter Mafani Musonge. They be done contact he. Now they be pushing me initiate that process with the Switzerland embassy before the Barry Corbett go meet up Mr. Paul Biya that same month for March 2018. Now why that way Inobo fit tell them which way he done already do them. So we believe say Mr. John Bakuro he be wrong when he be talk say na Eli Smith be tell Sako write that letter for Switzerland. Una listen.
I heard Comrade Sako talk, and he pointed out that it was after Southern Cameroonians had contacted the Swiss government that the Swiss government reached out to him, and then he wrote officially. That is not true. I don't say it is not true because I want to get at him, no. I say it is not true because we need to face the facts. Let us be honest at every standpoint, especially at this level of our struggle. And from information I get at the behest of Eli Smith, to request that the Swiss government should facilitate to try to come in and play the role of mediator.
The first presentation, John Bakuro be talk say na Eli Smith be actually dictate which way Sako be write for that letter. He even go further for talk say Eli Smith be talk for them say La République du Cameroun go attack them for Switzerland. Now why that way if it disturb the first missing way for Switzerland when I hear.
That the person that gave him intelligence on Yaoundé, that La République was going to lay ambush in Switzerland, was the one and only Eli Smith. So because Eli Smith felt disgruntled that he had pushed for this initiative, but at the end of the day was not being involved. He was not being called upon to travel to Geneva. And so he wanted to spoil. And he called Comrade Sako, and of course he succeeded in spoiling at least.
This one no get anything to do with Eli Smith, and I talk this one because when the life we or then distort information them whether deliberately or not, it make a move be blindsided for danger them we would need for be very cautious about. When I remember say Eli Smith be actually travel for America on behalf of Kadinatumi organization, the AGC, for go convince them me they can participate for dialogue now through that Kadinatumi he own platform. it no make sense and it no fit be true. Say Ellie Smith where he want to meet and come dialogue now for inside Cameroon. Go the same time they promote meet and go dialogue for Switzerland. So they dictate me Sako write a letter. When I remember say Sako, if he talks says Sako that write that letter before that meeting where they meet with Ellie Smith. So why Ellie Smith go meet up them now with all them day? He no go encourage them and talk for all them. He go talk not only for Sako for back. It no be possible. You know, if you talk say for one side, Ellie Smith they try for this for sabotage and initiative. Another side, Ellie Smith now he be the talk me then contact the Swiss ambassador. Be certain say the information will be done get them. Say the initiation for that Swiss process be now by Barry Corbett, their CEO, and Peter Mafani Musonge. It be solid. And this one, when I even get them from the newspaper, then time where the Swiss company Barry Corbett become visit Pobia with Switzerland, their ambassador. They be grant interview them. Those journalists, the way they be interview them and people really talk with them, they be done leak out those information. We be done already know about the HD from March this year after the visit of Barry Corbett CEO and the Switzerland ambassador. Maybe some person they try for play John Bakuru, but it no be true say na Ellie Smith be dictate that letter or talk me Sako write that letter. No be only this. Any man where they lie or they hide something that because say the thing is not clean in the first place. So even then, Sako no come introduce the Swiss process for John Bakuru and the other leader them directly. He used na Ebenezer Kwanga where he inform all the leader them. Now, remember, even Bohebet be the worker lie had the Switzerland government. Now, they be contact them directly. It be na Ebenezer Kwanga where Sako use them. Me contact all of them. When I hear.
Of the month of April, I was contacted by Comrade Akwanga, Ebenezer, and he contacted others. And he informed us that there was a capacity building opportunity in Switzerland. I never had the details of this whole thing at that time. And so he wanted us to delegate representatives or also be ready to go by ourselves to Geneva to take part in this training opportunity. I never heard about mediation or somebody wanting to be mediator at that time. And so what am I trying to drive at here? To drive at the fact that right up to this point, I never ever knew that it was Comrade Sako's IG that was involved. I rather knew the Swiss were now coming in through Comrade Akwanga. And contrary to what Comrade Sako says, we never held a vote at the SCLC to determine whether we should be part of this process or not. No.
So contrary to all the lies about the Switzerland government contacting them, it was not the Switzerland government, it was this Swiss NGO, HD, contacting them not even directly, but through Sako and Sako through Ebenezer Akwanga. All those lies, manufacture of fake argument to persuade Ambazonians were all false. And you know why people did lie. You know why people did hide. I no need to explain that one. But make we go forward.
Coming in through a Zoom conference. Now, during that Zoom conference, the Swiss officials already wanted us to, at the end of it, issue a mandate for them, grant them a mandate. And that is when some confusion came in. Some of us on the call did not know that this was about giving Switzerland a mandate. That is where we were informed that they had had a mandate from La République du Cameroon and they needed us to give them our own mandate. Some of us knew that we were to go for capacity building, not to give a mandate. And that is how the statement that was supposed to be issued ran into a ditch. There were spanners in the wheel. We started disagreeing. And at the end of the day, I suggested that we should rather forward to them if our intention, as Comrade Bohebet argued, should be to demonstrate to the world that we are ready for peace at all times, not that we have shied away from any opportunity to talk peace, then let us forward to them the resolutions of the All Southern Cameroon People's Conference that was held just a few weeks back in Washington, D.C.
So they hold the meeting sign mandate for give the HD me go negotiate with La République du Cameroon, and the HD lie for them. The HD lie say that already obtained La République du Cameroon mandate, obtained when I wait.
And now, after this Zoom meeting, comes the second arrangement for another meeting in Geneva. But as we were discussing and going on, an issue came on. Should leaders of our struggle go to Switzerland at this early stage by themselves, or should we only be represented? We disagreed on this enormously and argued and argued and argued, and that is when for the first time the SCLC we took a vote. At the end, Comrade Kometa agreed to a proposal I made that we bring in an expert to exchange with us and to give us his or her own ideas on exactly what we needed to do at this stage. And so we brought in the expert because we needed to hear from this expert so that perhaps we could return to a consensual agreement. The expert came in. And so the expert raised a number of very important issues. Number one, the expert strongly, I mean very strongly, advised against the participation of leaders at that particular early stage. What was the argument brought forth by the expert? The expert said, one, the Southern Cameroons is being looked upon by the rest of the world as a very disorganized set of people. The rest of the world, they are still thinking this far that we are in such a cacophony that they don't know if we can be able to run a state by ourselves. And a good lot of those in the leadership are not so well known in world circles. And so it was dangerous for our leaders to carry themselves to any first such meeting because they were going to open themselves up for assessment.
Exactly which we will be done the talk. Now the same thing will happen for Fumban conference. We Poncha be go meet up Aijo for back. Then give it even constitution, he hide them, na hide them. Carry leader then go for Fumban. We no but tell them which way it will happen for day. Without any technical advice. Even the United Nations be done talk say the UN be supposed to send a technical advisor team. Me follow them go for day. But then go for day themselves without any advice. Now the same thing it happened. For a leader, they expose themselves for being assessed. Now, how una feel say Aijo they be no say Foncha go like woman, where they be bring woman me can dance we carry head go before we realize the whole nation if future don't be compromised. This expert advice, he tell them say me they no go for the like leaders. He advise them say even that Swiss talk so many things. Because of time constraint, I will cut things then short.
When the Swiss were calling and putting pressure for that second meeting and wanted only leaders, I talked to the Swiss officials. I talked to Alexander Lepseski, and I told him I felt the timing was not the best. I told him I felt it made sense for our people to have enough time to do broad-based consultations and at least have the backing of all those who at least had sound knowledge about international negotiations before coming. When I talked to Patrick, still of the Center for Humanitarian Dialogue, I told him, please, can we have 2 more weeks? Can we push this meeting forward by 2 weeks so we have time at least to do some consultations? And he told me, look, we want to seal this thing very fast. There are a lot of other countries, showing interest in this thing. We should close it quickly. We need to close it quickly so that we avoid this disturbance from other partners wanting to come in. My dear brothers and sisters. And I asked myself, is it in my interest to make sure I wait off other partners, other parties, other interested parties in the interest of Switzerland that doesn't even want us to do consultations, that doesn't even want us to stop and think and reason before getting into this thing?
So John Bakoro, go ahead for explain, even for talk about the stupid idea where they put and say majority of leader then they this and that and that and that. Because of time and that are not go fit put all the things there for day. But they point to the same fact that they make and say the issue about competence, the issue about significance. So John Bohe Badango sign already give mandate for them. Before you'd want to be capable for sign on behalf of the Ambazonia people, you must be capable for get a significant power for be able for tell people that meet and stop them, for stop the fight or for control the mobilization for Ambazonia. Without those capability, you not be competent enough for even negotiate on behalf of Ambazonia. You need to be competent and you need to be a credible representation of Ambazonia people and their fight for independence and their fight for recognition.
Because the resident coordinator of the UN system in Yaoundé, wrote to Mr. Paul Biya, drew his attention to the fact that the Swiss organization Center for Humanitarian Dialogue was facing enormous difficulties being accepted as mediator. And so, if nothing were done and nothing concrete happened before the UN session in September, consequences will follow. And that is why they were informing La République du Cameroun that they were sending in another organization known as Swiss Peace to come into the rescue.
So it was all about rescuing La République du Cameroun from that UN official statement. Una go understand say Cameroon will be at the verge for face consequences, and the HD, just like the new organization where the UN official be the proposer me can meet up Mr. Paul Biya and for secure the mandate them, it be been for rescue La République du Cameroun from imminent action from the Security Council. Now, as we talk, Bohebeda already go sign for give the mandate. He signed for the who. The question becomes now who fi sign. Now who fi sign on behalf of Ambazonia. It's supposed to be now something. The same like the time we be there for the organization for Europe we be contact Ayabacho. It be involve all the leader. Even put Sakode in name inside me them come for the because things them way it be now about our future. It's supposed to be a national thing. Thing will be broad-based, thing will be transparent. We need to involve expert them, meet and listen before they feed one get to that stage for sign up. Those leaders, the way they don't participate for those talks them for Switzerland and then sign that mandate. And the one the way they sign that one for the mandate for the US-based NGO, they don't act recklessly, they don't compromise the integrity for the revolution. Thank God say the one for America, it never been a one way to work for La République du Cameroun. Will no fit appear for be this disorganized, as John Akuroh'S talk. We need to organize ourselves. Even cow them, they didn't gain Ganako. Even amongst the cow themselves, one day they win the work for front, so one day they follow for back. It lead all the sheep that they go. Even sheep themselves, we Southern Cameroonian them will be better than cows and sheep. We need to understand the need for project one person, for be able to speak with one mob. We need to understand the need for transparency and broad-based consultation for all inclusiveness. Even one would criticize La République du Cameroun, say their own dialogue no be inclusive. We need to hold that standard. Those leaders have demonstrated a gross incompetence and lack of credibility. We need to push the credible and major faction them for be in leadership amongst all of them. And we need to push them all for be in consultation so that all decision them and the one way go to stand the talk for front they go begin to do things in consensus. Now why that we are the advocate for the creation of an IG egg of seed led revolutionary council or restoration council or whatever name they want call them, a center command where consensus that could begin to be arrived at. And even within that system, you know, if you talk say all the leaders they could be equal, they must be led according to their significance them inside diplomacy and inside the military for fighting for ground zero, so that those one the way they be incompetent, they no go feed the override wisdom and logic by their numbers. We need to learn from this Kakuf mistake. Say any coalition, any memorandum of understanding we bring the leader then together, you need to set ranks amongst them with basic criteria depending on their influence and their impact for these past 3 years for diplomacy, for recognition, as well as the armed resistance on the ground. Now why that was submit for the Ambazonia people for the coalition of Seseko Ayoktabi and Ayabacho Lucas to lead the rest of the leaders for a more efficient prosecution of our revolution. May we rise up, may we observe the Independent Day goes down, may we resist, may our revolution be short, may our independence be forever with freedom, democracy and civil liberty. God bless you. Capo Daniel signing out.